This is more than just a AAA vessel. It is a floating city worth billions of dollars, a masterpiece of engineering designed to conquer the oceans. But beneath the luxury and the scale lies a terrifying reality. One single failure, one tiny oversight, and everything could sink into the dark abyss below. How does humanity build something this massive? How do we ensure that 40,000 tons of steel stays afloat in the world's most dangerous environments? It starts with the struggle of fire and metal, where engineers push the limits of physics to create a titan that defies all known logic. A single mistake during this phase could spell disaster years later. The pressure to be perfect is higher than the waves this ship will face. Every line on these blueprints represents a life, a dream, and in a massive investment that must be protected at all costs during the construction process. Welcome to the world of the ocean marvels, where we explore the thin line between a human triumph and a multi-billion-dollar maritime tragedy. The journey begins with a single cut. In this world, precision is measured in millimeters, because even the slightest deviation can cause a total failure. If a single plate is cut incorrectly, millions of dollars in material and labor could vanish in an instant, halting the entire production line for weeks. 40,000 tons of high-grade steel are assembled like a giant jigsaw puzzle. But unlike a child's game, these pieces weigh hundreds of tons each. Imagine a single laser cutting out of alignment. That tiny error could compromise the structural integrity of the entire hull, leading to a catastrophic snap. Engineers must monitor every second of the process, and an immediate halt is better than a delayed disaster that happens miles away in the open ocean. This is not Lego. This is the heavy lifting of civilization. Every weld must be X-rayed to ensure there are no hidden bubbles or cracks inside. If one block is placed slightly off-center, the entire weight distribution of the ship changes, making it unstable in the face of rogue ocean waves. Day and night, the metal mountain grows. Thousands of workers synchronize their efforts to build a shell that can withstand the crushing pressure of sea. The strength of the ship lies in its connections. Every bolt and every seam is a barrier between the passengers and the cold, unforgiving saltwater. But the steel is just the beginning. It is merely the skin of the beast. The real danger, the real complexity, lies deep within the hull. Beneath the surface, a labyrinth of pipes and wires begins to take shape, forming the nervous system of this incredible maritime giant of the sea. We are about to enter the heart of the ship, a place where heat and power rule, and where any failure means total darkness and fear. Welcome to the engine room, the heart of the Titan. This system generates more power than a small city's entire electrical power grid and infrastructure. 100,000 horsepower pulses through these machines, pushing 200,000 tons of steel across the surface of the unpredictable and violent ocean. The fuel lines and electrical cables are the veins and nerves. If the flow stops, the ship becomes a dead weight, drifting helplessly at sea. In this environment, heat is the enemy. A single overheated bearing can spark a fire that is almost impossible to extinguish in a confined space. If the heart stops beating while the ship is in the middle of a storm, there are no brakes and there is no rescue coming. Silence in the engine room is the most terrifying sound a sailor can hear. And it means the ship has lost its soul to the ocean's depths. The crew must work against time to fix any glitch. In the engine room, every second of delay increases the risk of a total system collapse. This massive shaft turns the propellers that fight against the weight of the water, a constant battle of man-made force versus the nature's resistance. Balance is everything. The ship must cool itself while generating immense heat, a delicate dance of thermodynamics performed in a metal box under the sea. When everything works, it's a symphony of motion. But even this incredible power is secondary to what is happening on the decks high above. We are leaving the world of grease and fire. Now we enter the world of silk, marble, and the most extreme luxury ever seen. Outside is cold steel, but inside is a different universe. This is where the ship transforms from a machine into a 5-star luxury hotel. Has thousands of rooms finished with the finest materials. This level of opulence requires a level of detail that borders on the impossible. Every surface must be perfect. The wealthy passengers expect a world where the ocean doesn't exist. Only comfort and the finest art money can buy. It takes thousands of hours to install the interiors. Each room is a module, pre-built and then slotted into the steel frame with extreme care. But this luxury is fragile. A single plumbing leak or a short circuit in the walls can ruin the experience for thousands of guests instantly. The pressure on the interior designers is immense. They are building a palace on top of a vibrating, moving mountain of heavy industrial steel. Behind the gold and marble lies a chaotic web of infrastructure. If this hidden system fails, the luxury above quickly turns into a nightmare. The goal is seamlessness. The guests should never know they are on a ship. They should feel like they are in a stationary dream palace. And the logistics of feeding thousands of people on the ocean are staggering. It requires a kitchen that operates with the precision of a Swiss watch. Every meal must be world-class. On this ship, the food is just as important as the engines that drive the vessel through the waves. But don't be fooled by the beauty. This ship isn't just a hotel. It's a living, breathing city that must provide everything for its citizens. We now move to the social heart of the ship, a place of endless entertainment, but also a place where the risks are highest. Welcome to the floating city. Here you will find water parks, theaters, and even robotic bars that serve drinks without a human touch. Technology is everywhere. These robots are programmed to be perfect, but even a small glitch can turn a celebration into a confusing mess. The entertainment is Broadway scale, but imagine the power needed to run these shows while the ship is battling 20-foot waves in the Atlantic. When the ocean gets rough, the city must adapt. A swimming pool on a ship is 1,000 tons of moving water that can become dangerous. If the stabilization systems fail, this paradise becomes a trap. Thousands of people trapped on a rocking mountain of steel and glass. It is easy to forget where you are. You could be in Paris or New York, but you are actually thousands of miles from the nearest land. Navigating this city requires a map. It is easy to get lost in the endless corridors and the many layers of this mechanical wonder. Like any city, it needs a hospital. Safety is the hidden priority that keeps the dream from turning into a logistical and human nightmare. A silent army of security and crew monitors every inch of the ship. They are the guardians of this multi-billion-dollar floating experiment. Everything is ready, the engines are humming, the marble is polished, and the city is full. But the final test is yet to come, the sea trial. And this is the moment where we find out if the steel and the luxury can survive the true power of nature. This is the float out, the moment of truth. For the first time, the weight of the ship will be supported by the ocean itself. If the calculations are wrong, the ship could tilt. If the welds are weak, the water will find a way in. There is no turning back. Like a giant leaving its cradle, the ship enters the open water. It is a slow, tense process that requires perfect coordination between the tugs. Now, the engines take over. The ship must prove it can move, turn, and stop. This is the ultimate test of man's mechanical ambition. The sea trials push the ship to its breaking point. We test it in the worst conditions possible to ensure it never fails its future passengers. We test the stabilizers, the engines, and the structure. The ship must bend without breaking, and it must keep its balance in the chaos. Every sensor is recording. Every creak of the metal is analyzed. Oh, we are looking for the ghost of a failure before it becomes a reality. And then, the moment of relief. The ship stands firm. The steel held, the engines roared, and the luxury remained untouched by the storm. Years of work, billions of dollars, and millions of man-hours have led to this single moment of absolute triumph over the elements. The ocean marvel is born. It is no longer just a project. It is a living legend, ready to carry thousands of dreams across the globe. It is a testament to what we can achieve when we refuse to be limited by size, by cost, or by the dangers of the deep. After millions of hours of labor, the steel has truly become art. The machinery has become life. This is the pinnacle of human achievement. This is a fortress of dreams, a floating sanctuary built to withstand the end of the world and provide the ultimate escape for those on board. In the end, it is a reminder of our place in the world. We are small, but our creations are magnificent and reach for the stars. A silent giant moving through the night. It is the bridge between the land we know and the mysterious blue world we have yet to explore. Behind every plate of steel and every gold-plated faucet is a human story. A story of sweat, of fear, and finally, of incredible pride. This is not just a ship. It is the ultimate expression of our desire to build, to travel, and to survive against all odds. The journey never truly ends. For every ship we finish, a new, bigger, and more complex challenge is already waiting on the drawing board. This is why we build them, to inspire wonder, to create memories, and to show that nothing is truly impossible if we have the will. As the sun sets on another day at sea, the ship continues its mission, a perfect harmony of human thought and industrial power in motion. The ocean marvel, a billion-dollar dream that became a reality, and a testament to the brilliance of the human mind and the strength of our hands. If you want to see more insane engineering like this, subscribe now. because the next one is even bigger and even more dangerous. See you there.